What's up, America? Hey, I want to read something to y'all about why law enforcement are all guilty of treason. All right. It says, law enforcement are felons, terrorists, and guilty of treason. Here's the proof. The second that a policy enforcer or a transportation department employee or even an actual law enforcement official, such as a sworn-in sheriff or deputy, turns on the emergency lights and pulls you over when there is no emergency, then they have committed a felony for declaring an emergency when none exists. And furthermore, if one is pulling you over is not an employee of a transportation department or has not been authorized by a transportation department to issue any traffic citations pertaining to the transportation code, which is not law, but merely corporate code that regulates driving or commerce on the roads, then he or she has no such authority to even issue any traffic citations pertaining to any transportation codes. They either are authorized to issue the tickets or are employees of a transportation agency, or they are not. And if any of them declare an emergency when there is none, then they are committing a felony offense. And they are only authorized to stop those drivers of commercial motor vehicles who are violating rules of the transportation code. So yeah, most traffic stops of travelers in their automobiles are false arrests or detainments or whatever other legalese terms are used, and any actual arrests made on travelers who are not engaged in driving is false and fraudulent and subject to prosecution of any corporate employee or law enforcement official who does commit such actions. And having a driver license and insurance and even having a vehicle registered is not proof that a man or woman traveling in their automobile is in fact engaged in driving or commerce on the roads. But the thing is that most people are clueless as to their rights, law, legal matters which are merely contractual, and how they have been hypnotized by word spells or legalese, which enables the equally ignorant and often quite stupid policy enforcer, transportation department employees, and actual law enforcement officials to carry on with this fleecing of worthless sped notes from the ignorant, unknowing masses. So let them write out their contracts or tickets. Say yes or no. Don't try to teach any of these idiots anything. Don't argue with the idiots and take it up later with the Bar Association idiot psychopath prosecutor who is or isn't stupid enough to attempt to use fraudulent or false evidence in a legal proceeding, such as a false or fabricated or fraudulent contract, which is a third-degree felony punishable by a fine, imprisonment. Dismissed will be what the prosecutor moron will say, if they have any lick of sense. If not, then so be it. The bar idiot will get a notice from the federal courthouse to cease with his fraudulent activities, or if the feds don't do their job like they're supposed to, because they're the ones who regulate their inferiors, the prosecuting idiots will get a demand to see the foreign agent registration with the W-9 filings, their oath of office, if they even have one, his bond, if they have one, his bond, if they even have that, the registration and W-9 filings of the corporation which hired their stupid ass, their bar card membership, which isn't a license to practice law, because there's no such thing as a license to practice law issued by any state or state of, and any other things that I forgot to mention. There's a lot of stuff that you can say and do and use to make those clowns cease their bullshit, but don't waste any time with any corporate clown cop or such who think is the average ignorant and compartmentalized moron who likes to turn on his emergency lights to pull folks over to add top his paycheck and pension and or retirement package, because that's what they're doing. All these stops, they're getting paid on the back end and they're getting paid up front. So it's a conflict of interest. If you want to piss off a corporate policy enforcer, turn your hazard flashers immediately upon them, creating an emergency where one does not exist with his or her lights. When they approach your window to commit an act of treason or domestic terrorism, roll the window down 3 inches and ask them, "Excuse me, sir, what is your emergency? Are you in need of assistance?" This is how fucking criminal our cops are, our law enforcement, DPS, sheriff deputies, and the police. They're all committing treason right there on the side of the road. Every fucking stop, they're committing a felony. So, it's up to us. Are we going to stop this bullshit, or are we going to let it continue? Because obviously they're all fucking criminals. It's non-debatable. We don't have to talk about it anymore. We just need to do something about it because these clowns are obviously tyrannical pieces of shit and they don't give a fuck about Americans. All they give a fuck about is their ego and their paycheck. They're going to do whatever they're told. It doesn't matter if it's criminal or not. They're going to do it anyways. All right? So, what are we going to do about it, America? Are we going to continue to let terrorists extort us on the side of the fucking roads? Are we going to continue to allow these fucking morons to continue to violate our rights? I think we are, because that's what I'm seeing happening. People just aren't standing up, and I wonder why. I wonder why. Is it that you're scared of a bunch of cowards that hide behind a badge? Are you scared of a bunch of cowards that hide behind their titles? I'm not. And I'm not putting up with the shit no more. I will no longer allow a terrorist to pull me over on the side of the road without consequence. Because he's not getting my information. He's not going to get his way. And I'll do whatever I have to defend myself on the side of the fucking road. Because that's what all of us need to be doing. That's how we're going to stop this shit. They are committing, they're committing war against us. They're warring against the American. They're committing fucking treason. If that don't wake y'all up, then what will? What will? I'm not putting up with it no more. Ain't a fucking soul gonna pull me over and extort me as shit no more. My life is on the line. And y'all should be too. Love y'all.